everyone, I'm really excited to be on the last piece of this really lovely page by Rita Berman. Now we had these little separate ones, but this is a one long section. I may split it into sections and separate videos. I've just noticed the sun has come out. I'm going to have to shut the blind. Bear with me, I will do my talk through my intro while I'm doing it. It will go black, so be warned. So I'm going to carry on using the Faber Castell pencils as I was before, and just really see how we get on. So I'm not going to come in really close. I'm going to come in a little bit closer so that we can still see the whole of this section, because I'm not going to do that bit, then that bit, then that bit. I'm going to start with the sky, so you need to see all of it. So using my, as I said, my Polychromos, I'm actually going to use the Cobalt green for the sky. I really like this colour and I think it will just look nice and interesting. So I'm just going to put down a layer, and I realised that Rita has drawn in some areas to do a little bit darker with some dots, which we can do in a bit. But I hope my dryer is making quite a lot of noise, but hopefully it's not too noisy for you guys. Now these flowers here, look, they look to me a bit like dandelions, and I'm sort of thinking I might colour over them and then use a pen for them. And we've also got little tiny stars in the sky which are very small, so again I'm going to colour over those as well, and we'll come in with a pen at the end to make those shine. So we could use a white, or we could use some metallics. I've got metallic pens in here today, so we'll just see what happens, really, how it all goes. But just getting this basic layer down. Now with Polychromos, they aren't as soft as some brands of pencil, so you may either have to press a little bit harder or do a few layers to get it looking quite vibrant. I'm quite happy with how this is going down. Oops, sorry, out of focus, there we go. So that's fine for me, but you may want to layer yours up a little bit and perhaps go a little bit slower. I am going quite fast. Just realised how hot it is in here. It's very hot today. I'm trying to do it so my hand doesn't blur the lens. I know it does a lot when I'm zoomed in closely. The camera focuses on my hand. It's a bit tricky. I'm not sure if I can. I'm sure I've got a setting which would set it only on the paper, but I need to reread my manual for my camera. So I may do that at some point. It's just finding the time. Actually, this afternoon there's some gymnastics on TV that I want to watch. I could do it then, in between, you know, when there's someone I'm not so interested in watching. It's the European Championships, and the UK are doing pretty well. But I like watching all of them. I find it quite exciting. To see, you know, how well they do. I'm just sort of in awe, really. I'm just working out these clouds. So we've got a cloud here and a cloud here, but we've got a gap here, and I'm thinking maybe this cloud might end there. Can you see? So I'm going to end it there and make this bit sky. I think it will we'll have the contrast between cloud and sky then, which I think will look good. Just checking that isn't the top of the train, which it isn't, so we can fill that bit in as well. And we've got some lovely cherry blossom coming up, so that would be nice to colour a little bit later on. What I think I might do, because I'm not really sure what colour to colour the buildings, my approach to this picture is I do everything I know how I want to colour it. So starting with the sky and then the clouds, I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. Having a sharp pencil makes a really big difference when it comes to getting a lot of colour down. You probably know this already, but just for those that don't, you can get a lot more, it pushes it down into the paper better. there we go. Let's go back over here. Just being a bit fussy over there. So yes, I'm going to start with the sky and the clouds because I've just trying to work out what's going on here. I've worked out what colours to do those, well, vaguely. I'm going to do some pink clouds is all I know. We have got cherry blossom here and obviously that's pink, so I need to make sure it's a different shade of pink, but that's okay. We can do that. And then I'll sort of think about buildings. I've seen a few people who've completed this part beautifully, and sometimes that will influence me, sometimes it will sort of make me think about what I'm going to do. What I do love about a new colouring book is finding a page that you've not seen anyone else colour and just doing it your own way without any other ideas in your head as to how anybody else has coloured it. I think that's really good fun. And so this page was like that for me to start with, but I've now seen some of these. I'm trying to work out, see that then seems to turn into a cloud, so I think that's the edge of a cloud, so I'm just going to go under here and take that into there like that. We've got a few birds here, quite fun to colour. There's a lot going on in this picture. Now, has anyone seen Rita's flip through? She did a very, I think it was an Instagram reel and also on her stories, and it was a bit of a thumb through rather than the flip through, I'd say, where she did this sort of thing. Let me just show you with this book. Here's a book, she just went like that sort of thing. So you could see a little bit. I'm terrible with those. I keep rewatching and rewatching. What's going on here? And pausing and trying to see bits of pictures and things and look at it, but I'm never successful. I always seem to pause it in a bit where it's just a blur. No, so I'm just trying to cheat, but my copy will be along soon enough, as yours might be too. It's a bit difficult to order it at the minute. I've been constantly checking for you to try and see if it appears on UK Amazon, and it hasn't, although it's got a listing. I'm just tidying up my sky now. Although it's got a listing, it hasn't got the facility to be able to pre-order. Now, Amazon.de, which is the German Amazon, has it available for pre-order, but I don't know how that works with regards to currency and things, and you'd have to make an account, presumably, if you had it, even if you got a UK one. But it did say it was available for dispatch to the UK. Obviously, I couldn't speak for other countries because it just found my location and went, yep, we can send it to you. Book Depository has it. Now, I think there's a US as well as a UK Book Depository, but I'm sure there is, but I can only see the UK one because it, again, detects my location. I suppose I could do there's a way of looking, isn't there, on the internet without your location being tracked. I can't remember what it's called. I have to ask the children, they always know these things. Or the husband, he knows too. I could go and have a little look and see whether it's on the US one, but it's on the UK one. Obviously, if you're in the US and you order the UK one, it's going to take a lot longer to arrive than if you are in the UK, which is always a little bit frustrating, but obviously there's not a lot you can do. And on US Amazon, there's not even a listing for this book yet, which is very odd, I think. All her other books are there, and Rita has updated her profile on there with pictures of the cover of the new book, but it's just not there. So I guess it's just not in their warehouse yet. But anyway, hopefully, maybe there's a different release date for the US. Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? I know with Johanna Basford there is. The US usually comes out on the Tuesday and the UK on the Thursday, which makes me cross because she's from the US. We should get priority, but we don't. I'm a spoilt girl and I want to get it first. Right, I need a pink for the clouds. I'm just having a look. I really want the palest pink that I've got. Now the Polychromos don't have pastel-y colours very much, so I'm going to go for this, the light magenta, which I think is the lightest pink. You might want to go for the, what's it called, the middle, what's it called, lake, something, light madder lake, that's the one, get there in a minute. But it's up to you. I'm doing this tone of pink. I'm going to do it a little bit darker at the bottom, lighter at the top, leaving a bit of white. I think it's just fun. And I know we've got clouds overlapping. I'm just going to do them the same, and they'll have to just look the same overlapping. The cherry blossom I will do in a different shade of pink. So that's fun. I do love cherry blossom. So pretty. Yeah, so it's all a bit of a mystery with the book, but hopefully everyone will be able to get a copy fairly soon. And the release date is the 26th, according to this up here. And she doesn't sort of say it's different in different countries or anything. I have heard someone say they got the US edition of one of Rita's books, and I wasn't aware there were different editions, because my editions of her books are always in German. I don't know if they're different paper or something, but they don't seem to translate them, and I think that's all part of the fun. I'm just working out here what's going on, to have it in German. I think it's lovely because although this is written in English, isn't it? Drawn with love, blah blah, but the title's in German. I like having the German. I think it's just fun, as I said just now. And actually, I've got some Johanna Basford postcards, which are German, because she doesn't release them in the UK. And I think the Germans just like their postcards more than we do here. Ah, it's a bit of blue there, hold on. In there, look, can you see the edge of the cloud? And it's the Worlds of Wonder postcards. And there's a bit down here too. We'll do that in a minute. And they sell, there's the page with welcome on it, and of course it's in German, so it says Willkommen, which I think is just delightful. I think it's so fun. Whoop, my pencils are rolling. So a little bit of blue in there as well. I'm not really sure how well this blue and pink goes together, but hey ho. Nature doesn't worry about whether it goes together, does it? So I think it will be fine. As I say, you can choose your own shades of blue and pink, or just do it completely differently. We seem to have a bit of background behind here as well. I'm thinking this bit. So I'm going to do that bit in blue. And what I find by doing this first is it helps me to have a look at what's in the picture for a start, but also just sort of start, it frames it a bit so I can feel less daunted by all the details. I'm going to do this sun next. I'm going to use a couple of shades. I'm going to start with the dark cadmium yellow for you and just go around the edge in quite a dark. I know I haven't done a lighter sky around the sun or anything. You can do that, but you know, just keep it, there's so much going on that I think we're keeping it simple. I'm trying to fade this towards the middle a bit, can you see? And then I'm going to grab a lighter one. This is the light cadmium yellow, and just go around and fill it in. I don't want a white centre. Sometimes you can leave a white centre in the sun, it looks really glowy. I'm quite happy with it like that. Do the birds next. I'm going to use Paynes grey for those. I'm just going to look along and find them, because I know I'm just going to block them in. I'm not going to do anything fancy because they're quite small. That's right. And oops, my desk is creaking. Yeah, that's all of them. Okay. We'll do the flowers and a cherry blossom next, I think. Now what should we go for? Should we go for let's go for the Carmines, these pinks, these two. So we've got the Rose Carmine, which is the lighter one, I think. This is the lighter one, and I'm going to do this all over the flowers, just in a lightish layer, and the buds. Like that. And you can see it's quite a different pink to the cloud, so it doesn't get lost in the cloud is what I'm hoping. That's got a bit of blue on, but it'll work. There we go. Now we've got lots of dots and things going on. I'm going to colour the centres with the pink Carmine. And what I'm going to do is all the dots, I'm going to colour in white at the end. Well, colour, I see. I'm going to dot on with a pen. That last one there needs a bit more. And I find the white just really makes it look very pretty, but at the moment we'll just leave it. Oh, my pencils are out of order. This is the leaf green, which I'm going to use for these leaves. And again, they're really small, so I'm not going to try anything too fancy. I don't know if that's supposed to be sky. It's a little bit of a leaf now. I think that's a leaf. Might be a petal, but it's a leaf now. There we go. Now there's the cherry blossom. We've got this plant over here, which I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to leave this bits to do in probably white. We should do the green area. I'm going to go for a different green to that. That doesn't really show up very well against the sky, does it? So I'm going to go for something a bit darker. I'm thinking maybe the pine green might work. You can see how dark it is. Just making sure you can see. What I'm going to do with this is layer it up near the base of the leaf and put less to the tip. And the same again with this one. The family are all out. It's Saturday morning, lunchtime-ish actually. It's 11:45. And it's my boy's birthday today. But we celebrated as a family yesterday because their grandpa has asked them out for lunch. Now, I was invited, but I can't eat anything in the cafe that they're going to because I've got so many food intolerances. I find eating out really stressful. And Grandpa wants to have a nice chat with the boys and get to know them a bit better because he feels he doesn't know them that well. The thing is, the boys say, "We're really boring, Mum. We just play computer games and go to college. There's nothing exciting to learn about us." And they don't talk a lot to adults, you know. So I think it's best for me to be here because I probably just talk for them because I know they're a bit, one boy's shy and the other one just isn't a chatty type. So I always step in and help them out in conversation. I feel like I'm helping them. And their grandpa doesn't like that. I'm going back in with some blue now to tidy up that background where I'd missed bits. Around that leaf. So I thought it was probably better if I didn't go and chatter away and you know, not let them speak. So they're a bit apprehensive. I'm going to do I just noticed we've got this. It looks like another petal, but remember how we coloured it like a leaf on there? So I'm going to do that one like a leaf as well. So that's leaf green, so they match, but I'm sure they should be petals really. But hey, it's done now. Now I've got the mountain. Now, do you think it's a volcano or do you think that's snow? I don't really know. I'm going to go in with the warm grey 5 and do the bottom. Now it goes up to the rail. I think we'll take it up to that wheel. I'm not really sure what to do behind them, but worry about that later. But yeah, they're going to a little Italian cafe, so they'll be having paninis, I expect, something like that. Maybe my two like tiramisu. Oh, one of them does, one of them doesn't. One boy doesn't like coffee very much, though he likes coffee cake, but then it's a very different, it's not as strong. So I don't know. I'm trying to make this, I'm not worried about this looking a little bit liney, because I'm thinking it's rock and it might have some sort of texture to it. It wouldn't be smooth. I think it might be fun to make that look volcanic. There's volcanoes in Asia. Let's go fiery, just for fun. Cadmium red. I'm going to go darker at the bottom to light. That's probably a mistake because it might blend in with the sun. So we'll have to take this quite far up and not use any red. Yellow, sorry. Dark cadmium orange. Don't know what I'm saying this morning. It's been a while since I made videos. I had the builders in for a few days, so I haven't had time to do, haven't been able to do it, and it's been too noisy. Orange glaze, but it quite stands out, doesn't it? We'll do a last one. Cadmium orange. So my friend popped round this morning to bring the boys' birthday cards. My husband thought it'd be fun to show her our wreck of a kitchen. Ugh, he's got no idea. I said it was such a mess. You know, there was cereal bowls everywhere and nothing was, I hadn't cleaned since the builders had been in yesterday. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's fine, he said. No, he's just got no idea. It's like, ugh. Right, buildings. Now, I'm sort of thinking, do we do all similar or do we do them all different? If we do them all similar, it's rather less daunting, I feel, because you've got a sort of fixed colour scheme, so it makes it a bit easier, but it's not so interesting. So I'm looking at these as I'm talking and dithering, and I've decided that we're going to do this one first, and we're going to do it in red. This just says red on it because it's been sharpened. It is, I think I know what it is, but I'm just going to check for you. Yeah, dark red. Okay, and I'm going to do these top bits here in red. I haven't looked up Asian buildings properly. I think I probably will before I do the book, so that I get some of the bits more correct, but you can do it your way. I just feel that red is, you see red quite a bit in these sorts of buildings, and that's what I'm going to do. But you don't have to make them look exactly right. Remember, it's your book. Do it your way, and do it in a way that's fun, because you know, if you don't like red and it's not a colour that you use much because you dislike it, don't force yourself to use it. Going to have to sharpen this little red here. I'm going to need a new one soon. He's not my shortest. I think someone pointed out quite rightly that the sepia might be my shortest, but my May green is probably having a race. I've got some replacements I need to go through and sort out soon and get them. Get some new ones. I'm pretty sure I've got replacements for all of them. I will have to check actually, because I might have to order them. I order from colouredpencil.shop. It's a great little business. She prices quite well. I understand there is somewhere cheaper, but I can't remember what they're called. But I like to support her. She's always very lovely, and she has open stock of Prismacolors as well, which in the UK are very hard to buy. Open stock. I don't know if you can get them on Amazon these days, but I know people worry. That's odd, there's no pillar that side. It's behind this, I guess. People worry about I'm doing some grey for the roof. I'm just trying to work out whether to do cold or warm grey. I'm going to go for cold grey. Cold grey 5. People worry about fakes on Amazon with Prismas, but there's a very interesting video by Sarah Renee Clark where she talks about Prisma fakes, and that in fact there are very few fakes on Amazon. I mean, she's Australian, isn't she? But she said, looking at them and ordering them, she found one set of fake, but she said there are very few, and it's the fact that prismas break so easily, or they come with the leads not central in the wood and things like that. People assume that means they're a fake, but actually that's just sadly how they sometimes come. So it's not that they're fake. So it was quite an interesting video, but I still I'm not sure if they sell open stock on Amazon. Plus, the person I buy from, Colour Pencil Shop, she checks them all first before shipping. She doesn't just ship you a random one. She will look at it, and if the lead isn't central, or the barrels, the wood splitting, or the end snapped, she doesn't send it to you. So you know that you're getting a good quality pencil that's been, you know, checked. She does do some seconds though. Sometimes she'll have a sale of ones that she's found that aren't good enough for her to sell at full price. So that's always worth noting if you want to try a few. I'm not sure that can be done. I'm going to come back with a bit more red in a minute. I'm going to use my warm grey 2 to do these little spaces in here. I'm sort of thinking those sort of screens that they sometimes have. I think it's in Japan, I'm not really sure, but that's what I'm thinking with those. So just a faint something wall type thing. We've got a window there, so we'll do that a little bit differently. And down here, I think we'll put one in there. There we go. So I'm going to do that bit red. I just think it'll tie in. I'm not really sure. I don't think it's really a support, but I think it'll work. And that bit in the warm grey. So going back to the dark red for this bit. It's no good me showing you the pencil because it just says red. It doesn't really help you. It could be any red, but you might be using a different red anyway. Yeah, I was going to do these bits too. Now usually when I do a shape like this, I will try and make it a little darker at the bottom than the tip, but these are so teeny, I'm just going to colour them in solid because it's easier. There we go. Now the door, I'm thinking I'm going to do the door red because we're quite far away from big areas of red. I think it'll work. I might leave the door handle a different colour, just for fun. Now, I'm not sure what to do about those windows. So we've got choices with windows. We could do light coming through, we could do a reflection type look on them. There's lots of ideas. I'm going to do a reflection type look, I think, with this pencil, which is the Cold Grey 3. Basically, just go across a bit. Like that, and that's it. Now we've got this little bit of wall under here. I'm going to do that with the roof colour, which was warm grey 5, cold grey 5, sorry. Just so we're not adding in too many different colours. And the door handles. Oh, there we go. Now I have the train I'm going to do next. We've got the train and its sort of track, and this is sort of like a going over, there's water underneath, and this is a sort of bridge. I'm thinking I'm going to do the bridge in greys, so I'm going to do that first. I'm going to start with my dark grey that I've just been using, the Cold Grey 5, and I think I'm going to start here dark and then fade it towards that pointy bit at the bottom, and just sort of pattern like that on this bit. I'm going to see how long I've been going on for, because I think I might finish this section and come back with another part. So this one I'm doing darker at the bottom on these thin pieces. Oh, that's that. Right, wrong. Eraser time. That's why it wasn't on the other side. Oh, my eraser wants to break off. Hold on. Now be careful if you're using this Tombow mono, because if you let the eraser get too short, you can accidentally scratch the paper with this metal piece. But if it's too long, it goes all wibbly wobbly. There we go. You'd never know. So for the arch, I'm going to fade it towards the top. Like that. Now I want just one other colour, I think, for the other parts of the bridge. What was that? That was 5. I use Cold Grey 3. That's 4. Hang on. We must have used it already. We did Cold Grey 3. What I think I'm going to do for this bit is just to fill it in. So try and do quite an even... See, I don't know if that's bridge or house. But anyway. Doesn't matter really. So we've got a sort of grey bridge. You could make it more colourful, but I'm sort of thinking I don't think it would be, but I mean, how would I know? It might be a very specific bridge that's a very specific colour, but I don't know. So I'm doing it in greys. There we go. Now, oops, let's just fill it in a bit better. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do the sky with the cobalt green under here, look. And then the water, I'm going to use phthalo green. Okay, it's light phthalo green. Okay, so those are quite pale. My idea is to make it darker at the bottom of each of these little wave bits and lighter at the top. Goodness, I'm getting hungry. I'm not going to rush to get this all finished. I'm going to leave this part the way through and come back and do the last bit in another video, so I can go and get some lunch and you can not have too long a video. But we'll do the train. Now the windows I'm going to do first. We're going to use a different technique than we did for these windows, just to show you. So we could do them striped, as they're sort of drawn really. What I'm going to do is use the Cold Grey 3 to just fill in a little bit of grey and fade it towards the bottom. Just going to try that. Now, I don't know what colour the trains are, but I'm thinking I don't want to just leave it grey. I think it's a little bit dull. What I'm going to do is get my Cold Grey 5 and just do these track bits under here, just quite lightly. Like that. I think that's not track, that's building, isn't it? Okay. And then the wheels in black. So we've got our black. I'm going to make the centres of each wheel really dark, and then make it dark at the top and a bit lighter towards the bottom, just so it looks like a really dark grey rather than completely black. Train wheels are usually teeny, aren't they? These look good, the way Rita's drawn them. Okay, now the main train I think I'm going to do in blue. I just picked blue out of my head. That blue is quite a nice one. We use this. This is the Helioblue-Reddish. I'm just going to give them a sharpen. We might leave a white stripe, I'm thinking. So we'll start here We'll go up to that line there. Okay, and on the door. It's quite detailed, isn't it? Little train. And then I'm going to leave a little white line like that under the windows, and then go blue on the top. You could fade it a little bit towards the top. Put a few less layers of blue at the top. I have to guess where this line goes in some areas. I think just leave a little white line like that through the under the windows. I don't think I've ever seen a train this colour, but that's good. It's fun, isn't it? Now let me have a look. Yeah, I think that white line has worked. It's a little bit thicker on here than on here, but yeah, and it doesn't quite line up on the doors. But I short an Asian train it would, but if it was a UK train, maybe that would be how it was. So I'm going to leave that there and come back for another session to do the buildings. I think we've done quite a lot, and we've been 36 minutes, and I'm hungry and I don't want to rush through and finish it when, you know, I'm hungry. So I'm going to go and get some lunch and come back and finish it, and so you'll get the next video tomorrow. I think that's the best way to do it. But for today, thank you for watching. And I know some of you are colouring along, and it's really lovely to know that you are. I know some of you just watch, pick up tips and do your own thing, and that's perfectly fine, but it is always lovely just to see a few people have coloured along and see their pictures. It's great. But thank you. I hope you have a lovely day, and happy colouring.